Bill Swift, Swift Canoe and Kayak, reporting in from our test paddling center in Oxtongue Lake. And today we get to talk about our Kiwassa 13.2 kayaks. And this baby has been designed by David Yost. And it's got the traditional, very rounded chine area, a lot of flare where the widest point comes way up, really pushes the waves off to the side nicely. The rounded chine area allows the waves to really roll underneath the boat very nicely. It also is very straight keeled in the back end. So the Kiwassa's track in a straight line beautifully. You can get an optional skeg or rudder on them. A lot of people get them without though, just because they track so beautifully. Now it's a really nice size boat at 13 feet 2 inches long. It's got a nice width to it, a little bit of a roomy cockpit on it. We built this boat both without hatches, a lighter weight version we called the LT, or with the hatches and bulkheads. Lots of storage capacity. Because we put so much volume above the waterline, you can really fit a lot of gear in the hatches on this boat. People are amazed for a boat of this size, how much storage capacity there is inside here, and also that if you do capsize, it's an extremely buoyant boat in the water. Now this particular one is the regular volume. Kevlar Fusion, it's got the Firestorm deck, the red and mango mixed together. It's got the champagne bottom on it, and some of the features of this boat. We have the real nice, comfortable, flexible luggage handles that move with your hands. The perimeter deck lines on the boat. It's really cool at night if you flash a light on these. The white specks really pop out. The hatches really work nicely. There's a rubber gasket material all around the edge of them. When you put it down and push it in, gives you a really tight seal. If you want it super tight and super waterproof, once you put it down, you can just push down harder and crank down a little bit harder on each strap. Now there's some bungee cords just in forward of the paddling position. Cockpit rim has this really comfortable padded material on it, and it's very thick underneath where you push your knees and your legs. And when you're carrying the boat, it's really thick on your shoulder, so it creates a real comfortable area. Now it's got our beautiful seating system, which is very easy to use. When you're not using it, you clip it in, voila. When you go to use it, the strap in here moves back and forth. And what you do is you put the back up in first, pull it down. The seat has a tremendous amount of padding on it. This is a demo. We've had it in our Algonquin store for a couple of years, so it's weathered a little bit. Adjustable lumbar support for the seat. When you paddle, this whole seat system moves with you. Extremely comfortable. Towards the back end of the boat, we've got a paddle holder to assist in getting in and out of the boat. Bungee cords again. This is a stainless steel security lock that you can run a cable through. Very easy to lock it up in your vehicle. Lock it up where you're storing it. I'm 6'4", 225. This boat fits my stature really nicely. Right next to it here, we have the Kiwassa 13.2 LV. When we make the LV, we literally cut 1/2 inch off the deck and the hull from end to end before we seam the boat together. So it's the exact same shape, but it is 1 inch lower. This is an absolutely beautiful one. This has a sunburst deck with the mango and the yellow mixed together. It's got the yellow stickers on it with the black carbon hull. Absolutely spectacular, beautiful look to it. All the features the same as the regular volume. You're looking for a mixed type of boat to you, mixed being great day paddling, a boat you could potentially camp with. the Kiwassa 13.2 is a great boat to check out. We are here with one of my Algonquin Park paddling buddies and an Algonquin character, John. And John has owned this Kiwassa 13.2 LV for a couple of years now. And John, we go on day trips, and most of us use canoes or pack boats, but you're the guy that always shows up with your kayak. What is it about kayaking that you really love?
Well, I like the ease of the kayak, being able to just pick it up, throw it on my shoulder, and trek through the woods. And this padding on this boat makes it a lot easier for that too. Plus the lightweight of this kayak. I also like being closed in, because I like to go on open big water, and sometimes the waves come over and I get nothing in the bay at all. It keeps me dry. I feel safer. This boat in particular has a lot of room for a low volume where I can put my legs in here. I have the adjustable pedals on the bottom. I can bring them up, I can lay my legs back, or I can bring them up so I can put my knees on here, and when I do that, I feel part of the boat. So all in all, for me, I like the kayak. Gives me a feeling of stability, maneuverability on the water, and it looks good.
Now, I've seen when we take our breaks and we're just hacking around eating some food and stuff, you actually take your legs and you drip them off each side in the water.
Yeah, well, this boat too allows for that, because like I said, for a lightweight carbon boat, the stability of this is amazing. I can actually put a leg here and a leg here, bring the seat back a little bit, and lay back like I'm in a hammock and just float around wherever I want to go. Nice. I even can have a little snooze in there too if I want to.
Now, John, you spent a lot of time trying all the different Swift models out.
Absolutely.
How did you land on this boat?
Well, one, reputation. Swift has a very good reputation for really well-built boats. I wanted the carbon and the Kevlar Fusion. That's what it is. And the look of this, when I saw it, like in the book first, I was like, I got to have this color. These two just match amazing. So I decided on, like I said, the reputation. The price was actually really good for a carbon boat. And everything about it, the 13.2 fits right in between a 15 and a 12, so it's exactly what I needed. So that's why I chose Swift. They had my model.
Now, paddling performance. Look, I know that you, if it's really windy and wavy, you'll go out on the biggest lake in the park. Why don't you tell the folks, just what is this boat like in real adverse conditions?
Well, I had it out yesterday on Opiongo, which is the biggest lake in the park, and the waves were about 1 to 2 feet. There were white caps. I was out there, total confidence. I was even in the boat and able to adjust the straps so that my thing went back in full waves and didn't have any problem at all. When I'm on the big water, this boat makes me feel totally safe. Absolutely.
Now, I also know sometimes we give it when we're out on our day trips and we start cruising at some pretty good speeds.
Yeah.
You have no problem keeping up to us.
No.
If anything, you're the guy that's going to take off. And I know you've measured the speed in this, so if you really want to give it, this boat really will fly for you.
Yeah, I have an app on my iPhone, and I got this boat up to 12 kilometers per hour, which is amazing. And it probably stretch it to 13 or 14, but it goes fast. Everything about this boat is exactly what I needed. And like I said, that's why I chose Swift, because I couldn't find it anywhere else.
So guys, this is a really fast boat, but what's most important to the average recreational paddler is it's extremely efficient boat. Like you can paddle, like sometimes we're out for 4, 5, 6 hours. And at just a good cruising speed, it just goes.
Yeah, and those times we're out for 4, 5, 6. I've been out on the water for literally that long without getting out of the boat. No, you know how sometimes your legs go numb and you're sitting. This boat doesn't have that. Like I said, because there's so much room in here, believe it or not, for a low volume. And that's it in a nutshell. This boat is this is the Cadillac of kayaks, in my opinion.
So we spent a lot of time developing the seat structure and so on. And you mentioned this to me earlier, John, this padded seat system with the adjustable lumbar.
That's part of the comfort is the seat. Like literally you can adjust it to however you want. You can pull it back here. and lay back if you want, or you can bring it back up when you set it up here. This is more for fast paddling. This is more for leisure, but everything about it too. Again, the seat, the comfort on it.
John, I know you also will trip with this. You'll load it up with gear and go on an overnight.
Right, absolutely. I have no trouble trekking through the bush with this. Like I said, I put it on the shoulder, got my backpack full of stuff. Anything I need on the water, I take it out of my backpack, stick it in these really extra roomy bays, which are totally dry proof. And these rope straps too. There's lots of room in here for any kind of gear you want to take with, front and back. Tons of room, even under here. I'll tuck some underneath there. So I can get into my interior campsites on one trip.
Now, John, you're like me. You just love to paddle.
I love it.
What do you say we go down to the water and put these boats in?
Don't have to convince me.
All right.
I'm totally into that.
It does show the comfort, doesn't it?
It is so comfortable, man. Seriously.
So one of the neat things about the Kiwassa 13.2, John, is David Yost, the designer, designed the cockpit for what he calls two knees up, where if you want to give your legs a break, you can bring them up, but then they're comfortable underneath. And you and I were talking out there. It's really comfortable to paddle with your knees just up a little bit in the middle, right on this padding.
Makes you feel part of the boat.
Do you paddle a lot like that?
It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm going just leisurely, I'll sit back like this, the pedals down. But if I wanted to pick up some speed, I'll push my knees against the rubber, against the foam, and then I got way more stability on the boat.
Yeah, it's one of the things that is neat about a kayak. What you were talking about before, when you put your legs right under, you do feel like you're part of the boat.
Exactly.
It gives you so much more control, especially in windy, wavy conditions. So, John, that was a blast. What I love about these Kiwassas is that when you take a stroke, boy, the boat moves.
Sleek.
And
sleek.
Wind and waves?
Not an issue at all. I have total confidence when I'm out on big water.
You were just telling me that you're out in Opeongo. You're the only one out there yesterday. And just how did that feel to you?
Felt good. It's nice to be out there alone without the crowds. Like I said, that's the biggest lake in the park, Opeongo. And when the wind whips up there, you better know what you're doing on the water. And this boat knows exactly what it's doing, because there was 1 to 2 feet and whitecaps yesterday, and I had no problems. Total confidence, and that makes the trip a lot better. So these boats, totally sold on them.
They're so comfortable, guys. They're a size that you can just feel confident in. They initially have a little playful feeling to it, but when you get used to it, all kinds of conditions, you just absolutely love it. So
yeah, they're gem.
Looking for a mid-range, lightweight composite kayak? Take a good look at these Kiwassas.
And the
Cheers.
13.2.
Yeah.